Good morning, guys. This is Rhea with our micro homestead. And we have some new additions in front of me here. This is a poultry net from Premier One that we have had for years. We first started getting into quail in 2020, and we got the net sometime in 2020, 2021. Think as you know, as new people. There she goes. Ooh, she got a zoomie. Whoa, 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 he's so fast. And ultimately, in the urban setting that we had, we maybe only had 50 square feet of grass anyway, and the net was too much. So we stored it for later use because we knew we had a goal in mind. And forgive the car noise. We are right on a highway, and people are starting to wake up today. But yeah, we have a purebred runner Drake. His name is Ego. He's our only male so far. We have 4 Rouen and runner mixes, scattered here. I call them the Brownie Sisters. And then we have 2, oh good, she did get in. We have 2 pecans. I call them Lovey-Dovey, and it's interchangeable. Who's who? I mean, they are very different in size, so I could technically name them, but we're waiting to see. And then we have our big chonker back there, and she is Tilly the Toulouse Goose. And, our last videos have been about our rabbits. They're still doing fantastic. We weaned the mothers from the kits, I want to say 2 weeks ago. A week and a half to 2 weeks ago, because oh, he's doing I'm fast. I'm so fast. And we wanted to start supplementing the kits with some black oil sunflower seeds, because the only feed I can get here is 16% protein, and really I'd like an 18% for them, and they're not growing as fast as I want them to. So we separated moms out. They're getting nice and big on the Boss supplement. And, we felt pretty stable with them. And I was looking on Craigslist, as I'm sure many of us do. Ooh, still establishing that pecking order. And Ego was listed on Craigslist, our blue runner there. He was listed on Craigslist with another runner, a fawn runner, who was a hen. And so we negotiated, picked them up. They had a duck house and a chicken coop and a chicken run with them, and those people were moving. So we've negotiated, and we're supposed to be getting those things hopefully in the next week. And so we brought home Ego. We did rename him. And then we named our fawn runner duck Fern. She was very sweet, timid as ducks are, but she definitely would eat out of your hand. Even the first, 24 hours, she would eat out of your hand. We've had Ego 2 weeks, and he just started doing that this morning for me. So, and unfortunately, the second night we had the first 2 together, Fern was attacked and killed by what we think is an owl. We didn't see the attack. It happened at dusk before I came out and put them away. And so she was found. And I won't go into the details because it was a little bit gory. but Ego had hidden himself in the shelter that we provided, which, if it wasn't a bird of prey, a four-legged animal could have gotten in there to him if it had wanted to. And we did have this fence up at the time. So there were no tracks. David and I we're not masters of things like that, but we know what a track looks like when we see one. There were no tracks except the duck tracks. So we highly suspect an owl, considering time of day and mode of attack and those other things. And it was pretty devastating. Ego was alone. We had invested some time and money into a system that was not stable. One duck does not a duck make. They need more. And when we lost her, we began looking around. So later that weekend, we decided to do a road trip. And so we did a 6-hour round-trip road trip south of Oklahoma City. And we ended up with our Brownie Sisters and our pecans from 2 different people. They were listed separately, and we were just getting the pecans, but she only had 2 left by the time we were going to be there. And so we decided to make the trip worth it and get 6 ducks. Oh, what good wing stretches. And so, we restabilized our system. I would say the Rouen mixes are the most wild. They were living in the biggest flock. Probably with the least human interaction. What are you doing? She was curious about the camera, huh? Are you curious about the camera? Yeah? I do have some scratch greens and some mealworms and bugs, grasshoppers and bugs on the ground for them. They really liked the ducks really liked the bugs. I did put the grains down for the goose primarily, but they'll eat them too. And so, our system was stabilized, but I knew in my mind that I wouldn't feel truly better. And I almost said safe. When you're ranging poultry like this and they're not in a covered run, I live in an area where all the locals tell me we have a lot of predators of different kinds. Okay, so you have to hedge your bets. You should never feel 100% safe. But during the day, we have a dog out, and he patrols. That's his favorite thing. He liked doing that even before we came here. And I would say my pecans. Oh, so cute. I would say the pecans are the goofiest. They just make me smile. But anyway, you should never feel 100% safe. So you hedge your bets. And I knew for aerial predators, something that the dog maybe wouldn't be in the right space to handle. He might be across the acreage, across the property somewhere. And the electric fence doesn't affect a hawk or an owl. I knew that I wanted a goose. And I wasn't super picky about what kind of goose. Oh, we're getting a quackle. Sometimes they work each other up, and it's funny. When I hear them make those noises in the house, it panics me, because those were the noises I thought I heard the night Fern was attacked, but lately it's been nothing. So they're definitely the ducks who quack wolf. So I wanted something to protect against aerial predators for sure. And, you know, you may watch this and think they're being territorial. There's some of that. We are working towards getting them a larger tub, but for now, this works. This allows them to express their duck behaviors. It allows them to assert their pecking order. And unlike chickens who can really damage each other, you know, the most I've seen them do is pull on feathers. I haven't even seen those feathers come out. So I'm sure if they went for delicate things like eyes, you know, we would have a problem. But, you know, thankfully we haven't had much of that. They have a lot of space otherwise. You can see they make a lot of splashes. So we will be getting them a bigger soaking pool at some point, just not in the immediate. Yeah, get somebody. Hi, baby. Let me see if I can. Ducky, 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 ducky. Ducky, ducky, ducky. Ego is the only one that's come close, but I wonder if the pecans, they seem the most tame. They were raised with kids. Ducky, 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 ducky. Ducky, 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 ducky. And with anything like this, just requires patience. Which I'll just keep working on them. So we knew we wanted a goose, and we weren't set on making it happen right away. You know, all of these additions, we've given them a week at a time to acclimate and figure their situations out. The only one we were in a hurry for was to give Ego a friend after Fern passed away. And so Ego's been with us 3 weeks now. The flock of ducks has been with us 2 weeks, and now we have our Toulouse goose. And with her, she was a Facebook find. I just got a feeling that it might be worth a few minutes to, you know, to scroll through. Yeah, see, he likes those worms, or she. Everybody's a she so far, except for Ego. The pecans are still young, but they should be old enough to be expressing a drake feather. I just want to hold out maybe a few more weeks. They're just maybe 9 weeks old at this point. So they still have about 3 more weeks before I feel comfortable, you know, thinking that they're hens. But yeah, so Tilly was a Facebook find. She's staring at us. And I just got this feeling, you know, it might be worth my time to look through the groups and search specifically, because I do follow them fairly closely. But sometimes I'll see something and, you know, at the time I'll think maybe that's too far away, or, you know, now it's not the right time. And so I just go back through every so often and search for specific things. And she popped up and someone wanted to rehome her as a single. And I'd seen some who wanted to rehome pairs, but he wanted to rehome her as a single. And really, from what I understand, it's better to have a single goose because they are much more wary of their surroundings at that point. They'll integrate with your flock, but they won't get distracted by the whole mating situation. And really, from the moment we put her in, she's eye to the sky, keeping an eye out. So it's working for us very well so far. And we ended up driving 2.5 hours to go get her. The gentleman who was rehoming her hatched her from an egg, and it was a pet of his. And we really, I didn't feel like I wanted to open a wound maybe and ask why he was rehoming her. He did have several other birds and a couple of other geese. But, she was going to be $30, and we thought, oh, that's a good price for us, $30 plus the trip. And he actually ended up saying, as long as you're not going to eat her, you can have her for free. And we're like, oh, fantastic, because we want her to guard and befriend our flock of ducks. So perfect. So it worked out. And we got her. They are strong. I didn't expect her to be so big. I've never owned a goose before. She was big. She was strong. She's wary of us because it was a little stressful catching her. She was safe while we were doing it, but she didn't like it. And then there was a long drive back. But we did name her Tilly the Toulouse goose. They are known to be docile. I don't know if they're known to be particularly quiet, but she has been fantastically quiet. The only time she has made any noise is when she's alerting. And I think this morning she alerted to a car. No, let's see. And she alerts to us still when we come out because she doesn't know us. And somehow she got out of their enclosure last night, and she was already out when I came out this morning. So, quite interesting. We're going to have to see. I'm sure that's going to continue, and so we'll have to see what we can do. The fence is left on all the time, so it's possible. It doesn't matter. But yeah. These are our new additions, and we are so happy to have them. They bring us joy to watch with their goofiness. They'll bring us eggs. The Rouen mixes are 6 months old, and so they should be laying anytime in the next month or so. I have seen Ego do his job at least once, and so if you've seen it once, there's plenty of times you're not seeing it, I'm sure. Hi, Tilly. Hi, Tilly. Yeah. So she just may be uncertain about the cars. She came from a pretty quiet street. So, but yeah, I'll leave you guys here with a shot of Ego grooming. Looking like he's spreading the oil and water around.